And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to TestMeConf for 2026. I'm Swapnil, the Senior Product Marketing over here at TestMeWare, and I'll be the host for this session on scaling quality in a decision intelligence platform, the Agentic QA playbook, right? Before we get started, a few housekeeping items. This session is being recorded, so even if you drop off mid-mail, you will get the recording over to your registered email address. There is a dedicated Q&A at the end, and feel free to drop your questions in the Q&A box, and we'll get them answered at the end of the session. You can post your takeaways on LinkedIn and X, and feel free to tag us and use the hashtag SMEConf, so the rest of the community can also follow the conversation. Now, traditional QA runs on simple contract. You define the input and you assert the output, and then you ship. But when the product itself is a network of AI agent that reason, collaborate, and adapt, there is no fixed output to assert. There is no script to anticipate emergent behavior, right? And when something goes wrong for a Fortune 500 client, we don't have a test for that is not a answer, right? We have Ahmed here, head of AI QA innovation at Aily Labs, and where he leads autonomous QA systems for a decision intelligent platform serving Fortune 500 enterprises. He brings 16 years plus of experience across quality engineering and software engineering. And his focus is exactly this using AI to test AI. Hamad, welcome to RESPI Conference 2026. The stage is all yours.
Thank you. Thank you
Just
for the introduction.
quickly share your screen and yeah,
Okay. Thanks. I'm
yeah,
sharing.
over to you.
Thank you so much for introduction. Hi, everyone. I will be taking up this topic as well. And just for a short introduction, of course, you already has given. I'm Hammad. I'm the head of AIQ innovation at Aily Labs. And as explained already, I am responsible for the Q innovation, which is the new field now in the new AI era. So that's my responsibility in Aily Labs. And before, of course, to start the meeting, I wanted to start with some chapter, which is breaking point, which was already explained. In what does before we do that, I want to explain what Aily it is as well. So in Aily, one of the things we are building as a product, because if I want to explain the product, then you will understand what are the challenges we faced as well and how we solved it as well. One of the key challenges before AI was the new thing was that a lot of decision intelligence which we were doing were based on a lot of manual Excel file reading and sites and analytics. We want to do that, and it was very human driven as well. And that was something was just challenging. And of course, it takes a lot of time. It consumes a lot of time, and it can be error prone as well in this case, because a human are very subjective. That was what happened before AI and data. Big data came into existence as well, and it doesn't scale. Imagine for Fortune 500 companies, you have to take decisions. You have to have a competition sector as well, and which doesn't scale very well. So in this case, ALE came into being like 60 years ago already, where as ALE, our vision was that we will use AI and compile all the data into one place and show all the executives or all the managers, all the people inside the big high Fortune 500 companies, a patterns and decisions they can take on the phone on the tip of in a few seconds, etc. as well. So that is something we did with decision intelligence, and that's what Aily does as well. So you can see the paradigm shift from human to agents and tools controlling all of the decisions and also actions on it. And that's a product we were testing. I was in 1 year ago, our CEO gave us one of the challenges as well. So that we are scaling fast. And as you know, when we are scaling, all the big companies with who are driven by AI, they are scaling fast as well. And at the same time, one of the challenges which we also face as a traditional QA and what we changed now is that our application, which is based on AI and data, is not defined on conventional inputs, which has been and outputs as vector as well. And that's something changed for us a lot. And the behavior of the application itself is not predictable as well. Of course, as you say, I have seen the experience of my whole career, 16 years I have done with the e-commerce sector as well, where the checkout process is very defined and you know what to do, exactly what steps need to do. You have to know what PDP, sector has. But in this application, that's not possible anymore. At the same time, AI has been evolving so fast. I think so. The testimony session itself we are having right now, and so many talks we have already heard to. Every day, every month, there's some new change happening, and you need to adapt to it. And even the acceptance criteria of what we are testing becomes very vague, and that's something it's not scalable if we follow the traditional conventional QA, etc. as well. One of the things, again, as a company, we are dealing with Fortune 500 companies. We cannot afford any mistakes. There's no room for error. We are dealing with different kind of verticals inside different Fortune 500 companies, which is dependent on our application, and this is a mission critical application as well. Because if we are down, they are not able to do analysis, and they cannot predict or act on it as well. And that's where we were at as well. Our application itself, one of the challenges we faced at that time was that it is everywhere. It's web, mobile, iPad, watch, and it's growing on all the platform sector as well. So imagine the scale. We are dealing with Fortune 500 companies. We cannot do any mistakes. We are scaling fast with new industry agnostic application, and also we have multi-platform support as well. So this is some of the challenges which we faced, and this is the pressure which we got 1.5 years ago, which is good because our company was scaling fast. So what brought us idea? So last year, I remember with conversation with our CEO, we thought, okay, we have to build quality super agent as well internally in Aily Labs as well. So what does it do in a sense? So idea was born that we don't build one agent, we build multiple agents which can correlate and talk to one agent with super agent for us in quality super agent, which we could talk about. In this case, we thought about, okay, what are the key things which can allow us to scale faster? We said, okay, one of the things as a human, as a manual QA, usually people do is like explore the application. From the QA point of view, again, I said, like, it's in 16 years. If I ask somebody what is the test coverage of something, it's very hard to define test coverage of anything 100%, especially in the application, which is we cannot predict any behavior. And the key thing which comes to our mind at the same time was that we can do humans do and go exploratory testing on it. And that's something that was the first of our agent which we started building. Then we said, okay, we need to build a resiliency agent as well. We need to also start creating tests as well. Then we also need a PR reviewer as well. Then all the bugs which we happen in production, we need to learn from it. And that's where our root cause analysis agent come in. And then Critic agent, I think so we named it differently. You might name it as evals and models and AI, native AI companies. And we call it Critic agent, which allows us to judge LM as a judge and judges the application from itself. And last but not least, bug fixing agent. Of course, there is no application which is without any bugs. And this is where we bring it that there should be bug fixing automatically done by agents as well. So as a whole, we thought, okay, we will swarm all the agents. And the idea was to, in the future, we will allow them to talk to each other as well and have a workflow which can allow us to do a lot of autonomous QA inside the company as well. So we have already talked about this as well. But one thing which we also did, one thing which I think so far important for all the QAs was coming in the market as well, and also for learning as well. All the conventional QA tools which you have, we never disregarded them. We didn't just put them on the side. Actually, we utilize all of them to allow us to build on this as well. We, of course, in company, we use Playwright, we have Appium, Behave as well. We have visual regression, and we are using cloud devices of Testmoo, of course. At the same time, I think most of you already are aware of Jira, Confluence, where you have a lot of documentation, context, etc. living. At the same time, visibility tools from Datadog, Sentry, and Langfuse, which allows you to see how application perform on production, if there are any errors, warning, sector performance of the application is there. And the last but not least, the collaboration tool. And I think so this is already very known. Slack and GitHub is used internally. So we thought, okay, we are building agents, but we want to utilize all of these tools which we have internally to allow us to scale faster and also learn faster as well, and for the agents as well. So one of the things we started building. So when we started building the agents, as you might know, AI hallucinates a lot. Yes, without any grounding, without any context, it will hallucinate a lot. Even now, of course, with new models coming with OpenAI, Anthropic, etc., it's a little bit lesser, but still, it can hallucinate a lot. So what we did was we started, as you heard from backend, that we started feeding them with our product specs. And how we feed product specs is we connected them to the Confluence, we have connected to Jira, and it's so enriched data you have in your arsenal, which you can use to make our agents a little bit more grounded in it as well. And one other thing which we did was that we had the arsenal of like 10,000 test cases, of course. And of course, this is something which grows and grows more over time as well. We thought, okay, what do we do? Well, what we did was like we started learning we fed all the test cases to our agent to learn to understand the product. So as a QA, I know one of the things which I share with everyone is like the QAs are the most closest to the product. They know how each and every end of the product, and then they also start creating those test cases as well. So if you want to have a product description, you can usually go into a repository of a QA test automation, and you will know how the product works itself. And that was an idea born that we started feeding the test cases itself as a documentation to our agent, which allowed us to make it more concrete as well. Then another problem we started having was that product language was not speaking as well. So in this case, we started documenting more of business rules, etc. as well. As I explained before, that we were very business industry agnostic. So we have very specific industry knowledge, which of course, as a QA, you cannot possess all the industry knowledge. And of course, LLMs are experts in it, but in Fortune 500 companies, there are specific things which are very specific to their companies as well. So what we did was we sat down and we started building all the business rules, etc. as well, for us to make sure that whatever we are building is grounded, is not hallucinating. Of course, it hallucinates sometimes. We cannot predict 100%, but it still allows us to be much more faster, and also don't generate any false positive, false negative in our testing as well. So that was something we started building as well. Then we came to another problem. So imagine you are feeding Confluence, you are feeding Jira, you are feeding test automation scripts. Then you're also feeding the new business rules, etc. The context became bigger and bigger and bigger. And I know a lot of people who were working with the AI will understand that at some point of time, bigger the context, it hallucinates more as well. And that was another big challenge we want to fix. And I think so. Anthropic also released at the similar time that skills, and we also adopted very fast. We also starting skill gating inside our agents. So we would have certain skills which will access certain parts of the product, and this allowed us to not feed a lot of context as well. At the same time, if you're working with AI, you use less tokens as well. If you have a very specific knowledge you want to get, you can go to that part and then take it up as well. And that's something we started gating. So we call it skill gating. So we build internally an agent which can skill gate, can access certain information from certain parts of the product as well, and certain parts of the repository or the context which we had as well. So that's where we started building as well. So one of the other things which we want, as I said, we are dealing with the Fortune 500 companies as well at the same time. Yes. So we cannot, as I said, that we cannot do any mistakes. So this skill context on the demand allowed us to, for example, talk about financial data, financial knowledge. We talked about the R&D knowledge inside the company, and organizational knowledge, manufacturing and supply knowledge, etc. as well. So when we started doing that, we built it little bit small silos of information, which was accessed by certain skills. And that was very much allowed us to be very consistent and persistent in our predictions of, I call test automation exploratory testing as a prediction of the test, if there's an issue or not. And that's something we built upon it as well. That was a eureka moment for us, at least. Then once we have that, what we started doing as well, that okay, we have all the tools, we have automation which is running 24/7. We agent doesn't sleep anymore. I don't need to wake up in the night and look at how the application is performing it. But at the same time, if agents are working all the night, how do we know something is wrong, or what is going wrong on the production? So we started building a quality pulse inside our application as well. What it does, it was detecting AI accuracy of our application. It was detecting the defect leakage. Of course, that's very famous, no common thing in any company you work with. How much it is at a certain point of time. You want to, whenever you want to see, you can open an application, you can see it. And then also tenant health, and that's where our signal is coming in from all the agents we have built, which is exploratory agent. We have the peer review agent, etc. as well, which tells us that how much code is being shipped and what quality of code is being shipped as well to production. It already signals us before that. Root cause analysis agent allows us to tell, okay, what were the major root causes of certain application as well. And so that's the next step which we built internally in the company. And this allowed us to be on top of everything all the time. It also gives summary to our executive team. It gives summary to our all our QAs, our leads. Everyone got to start getting this pulse, which allowed us to be top of on everything as well. So once we have that, so then we had another challenge. Okay, we have a lot of information, we have a lot of quality pulse, but we need adoption and also start using that as well too. Because imagine you are getting quality pulse of so many things to you at the right moment at your fingertips. How do we make sure that moving forward we prevent this as well? So one of the things, again, as I said, the tools we started talking about, like Slack, we have GitHub, we started integrating our agents inside these tools, which is living by our side. So imagine I spend a lot of time on Slack, for example, in my company. So there's an agent or a QA lead, for example, let's call it our quality super agent, a QA lead, who's telling me what's going wrong at the same time. It is one of the things which we changed in the company was that initially the AI was reactive. For example, we need to trigger something to get something out. We started, no, that cannot scale faster. We cannot depend on human at the same time, because of course there are so many things, so many contexts to be done, and so many tasks to be done always on the when you're scaling fast, that we can forget something. So we started building an agent which comes and tells us, we was proactive in it to tell us what is happening over the application sector as well. So in this case, we started with daily briefings, for example, and that was a very first instance where we saw that the value out of it, that everyone in the company who was responsible for certain teams were getting daily briefings about their team, their customer, what is happening there, what were the major issues, how we fixed it, etc. as well. Then in the if you have worked in a scale up, most of you mostly would have worked in a scale up, you might have seen that everything is important. Nothing is nothing is not important. And that's where the prioritization comes in as well. And that's where we started using our agents to prioritize work for our from the quality perspective, for our leads, for our managers inside the company as well. And then of course, as I said, that on-demand runs were also available. And this was more for, I always believe, quality inside a company. We provide services to the company itself as a QA team, usually most of the time. And for us, it was to make as easy as possible for the company, for developers, for the managers, for the executive team to be able to also on demand do anything. They can on demand do exploratory testing, on demand can fix a bug, on demand can peer review a sector as well. So that was the third tool which we provided for everyone, so they be able to do that. So that was something which we built inside and which helped us a lot. Then, so as you said, for all of these things, what happened? Then we had an AI engineer, QA engineer, or super QA engineer inside our workflows, which was always live, attentive, and you can, for example, I know this is right now I am in Europe and it's like 10 p.m. I can know if I can go and ask agent, it will go and get me quality pulse. Will go and do exploratory testing, and I don't need to wake somebody up right now as well. So that's something which shifted in our company, and everyone started using it more often. But what's next? This because I was just traveling and I was talking to one of my senior Q engineer recently. One of another Eureka moment happened to our recently, and that's why it's not there. But because happened very recently is that once you make all the agents start talking to each other, there will be moments where agent will act more autonomous as well. For example, you connect root cause analysis agent with bug fixing agent, the connection already flows from there. Then you can also connect the test creation agent as well, then it will create test as well. So recently our one of the things which was all our hard work we had in doing in our company was that allowed us to see that we started doing exploratory testing, and it became a little bit autonomous to go and fix a bug as well in our environment. And that's where we were aiming for, that the agents start talking to each other and allowing us to do something autonomous. Of course, there are things which we can make more perfect, but this is one of the things we achieved very recently. And the next things which we are doing right now is, of course, self-healing test. At the same time, we want to increase our agents a lot more, because we just saw a very good achievement as I shared just now. We think that we can add more and more agents to it and start talking to it. Again, we also envision next challenge for us, like if we have so many agents talking to each other, how does we reach out to their extension? And that's something we are still figuring out inside the company as well. Then, last but not least, I want to say that 3 takeaways, if everyone want to take, or from my side in this case as well, is that give quality a pulse, because one of the big question everyone asks me whenever I talk to some of the QAs as well, how do you measure quality? It's very hard to measure quality with one specific KPI or metric. For us, we have combination of quality drivers inside the company, which allows us to measure quality pulse. And this definition of what drivers are more important depends on each company. And for us, what mattered most, we define those as the drivers as well. And that's where I will say that in any company you work with, identify those metrics and KPIs, which are more dear and important to your companies, the challenge they are facing, and use that as the metrics and KPIs as a quality pulse. Then start building agents. It's not very difficult in this day and age. Now you can talk with Claude, Opus 5, Fable 5, even OpenAI models, and it's very easy to create agents now. It's not something which we used to think 10 8 years ago was difficult, as now on everyone's fingertips. And also start making a system which can allow them to be orchestrated itself, and also allow them to talk to each other as well. And I think so once you allow that, assume that as a human, like you have a team of 5 people, if they start talking to each other, if they have different ideas, they bring in, and then a lot of good things come out of it. And that's where you need to treat the agents as well, to orchestrate and let them start talking to each other. Then, as I said, last but not least, AI is here. It's not going anywhere. So start adopting them to your workflow as well. I think our company currently, we are very productive. At least our efficiency increased a lot more. Recently, in 1 year, what we achieved, I think so we wouldn't have achieved in 4 or 5 years of work. And that's something AI has enabled us to. But at the same time, I don't see AI as a challenge for us. It's more of a tool which we can use to for every human to exploit and make your skills better as well, and also your productivity and efficiency better as well. And that's where the other lying thing is, and that's where we integrate into Slack and GitHub, etc. And when you have small nudges going around with AI agents inside the workflows, it allows you to uh, be much more adaptive to all the approaches that comes with it as well. So that was it from my side. And if we have any questions, please let me know.
Hi, Ahmad. That was a great session. You handing you us the real playbook and not just the theory, right? We do have a lot of questions from the audience. Let me just pull one up. Okay, this one is from Paul. How
Mhm.
can the latency and monetary cost of using LLMs as
Mhm.
evaluators be optimized to match the speed of modern high frequency software development cycles?
Mhm. One other thing, again, this a challenge which is any AI company as well. One of the things which we have done is that we start using models which are specific. You have heard of more master of experts models. For example, the models which are used for some specific. We don't need to use Opus 4.8 for everything. We don't need to use Fable 5 for everything. So what we started doing and learning from internally as well, that you can use smaller for some um, smaller questions as well, and smaller tasks as well, and that allows us to do that. And how what it does is it reduces the cost, and some smaller models are much more faster, and latency is much more lower as well in this case. And that's something which we have done internally in the company, and this allows us to do that. Apart from that, of course, other things which we are building inside is small LLMs as well, and that's something allows you to beat the frequency as well of the normal software development life cycle in the company as well. At least that's my view about this.
Okay, let me pick one more question from the audience. This question is from Fakra. If your triage agent misroutes or your root cause agent gets it wrong, how do you catch that?
That's a good question because it has happened to us. Uh, every agent, I think, so you need to have a feedback loop, and without feedback loop, no agent will improve ever. One of the things where triage agent or root cause analysis agent, of course, we humans are still in the loop, yes, as a QA engineer or developer or manager. And what it does is that whenever they see something is wrong, they get to give a feedback on Jira comment, or they give feedback on Slack, and that's something we gather as well to feed into our agent as well, so that the next time it doesn't happen. So I think so. Any agents, any AI you're dealing with, it should have a feedback loop, and that allows you to improve it in the future.
Awesome feedback. Got it. We do have a few minutes to pick another question. I'll
Mhm.
just pick another one. This question is from Bharat. If AI can generate software faster than the organization can understand it, are we creating an accountability gap?
Yes. The answer is yes, it is. And that's where the challenge for the QA, I think so. Right now, the best field to be in is the QA field, because there's the amount of code which is generated by AI is exponential. I have few friends who work in GitHub, GitHub, and how the code they are getting inside the Git itself is huge. And then yes, we are creating a lot of tech debt and a lot of code as well. But then what do we need to do? You cannot defeat this by humans as well. So the code that was generated by AI, we have to we have to use agents or AI to also counter check it. So one of the things which I always tell everyone before exposing AI to AB repository, put the guardrails first, and that's the most important part, I think. So people forget about. So one of the things, this is what we did. We put guardrails more first, and so that we don't do any mistakes in production. We don't have tech debt, and that's what allowed us to scale much faster. So focus on guardrails and use as much AI to counter it as well. Of course, on both sides, we'll do some mistakes, but at some point of time, the context will become so huge, the feedback loop will allow you to become so accurate that it will not happen more often.
Awesome. Perfectly answered. Let me, okay, yeah, we are out of time. Yeah. So, three things that I can get from the session, and I think the audience will also get it. Giving quality a pulse, yes, agents, orchestrating agents, and AI as the workflow rather than the shortcut, right? So, yes, thank you everyone who joined us, and do share your learning and experience over LinkedIn and X with the hashtag TestMeConf, and do tag us. You'll also get a chance to win prizes worth up to $1,000 and more. So, yeah, happy learning and happy testing, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for
Thank you,
allowing.
Ahmed.
Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye bye.
Have a great